And we now continue with the Attorney General, Anil Nandlall, and Legal Affairs Minister discussing the money laundering bill. Let's watch.
With instructions to implement them. They came to Guyana and they undertook a study and they examined us in 2010, and in 2011 they produced a report with new recommendations which include the implementation of policies at the administrative level as well as correcting certain identified deficiencies in our legislative architecture. We got those recommendations in November, about mid-November. You would recall November was the year that we went to the elections.
Right.
So really government did not have time nor the energy to deal with the implementation of the recommendations then. We went to the elections and then of course elections was November 2011, government was in December 2011, and in 2012 we had to begin to work all over again. Of course, at those elections we came out with a minority seats in parliament. So you had a new governmental system now to administer. So it took time to get us acquainted with the new dynamics that were unfolding as a result of the elections. But be that as it may, we began to work on the recommendations. We compartmentalized the recommendations into two broad categories. One, which we describe as non-legislative, and one that we describe as legislative. The non-legislative ones, we began to implement them because we don't need to go to Parliament for that. And that is an ongoing process. We have been assessed and we have scored high in that category. In relation to the legislative aspects, of course, we have to go to the Parliament to get that done. We took the year 2012 to draft this bill, right? It's a very complex legislation. This is a new law coming into this part of the world, and it's a complicated law as well. And I have said elsewhere that it is also draconian, and it is intended to be complicated. It is intended to be draconian because it deals with what essentially is a very serious problem: money laundering, treating with the proceeds of crime, the trade of explosive and firearms, trade are all significant problems facing today's world, and they have the impact of wiping out and destroying entire communities. And it has done so. One incident in Manhattan killed over 4,000 people in September 11th, 2001. So one does not have to look very far to find the catastrophic consequences that these ills bring forth to human experience and to human life, and indeed to the world whenever they manifest themselves. So laws that are designed to address them must be draconian, because you're dealing with a draconian issue. You're dealing with an extraordinary problem, and any extraordinary problem requires an extraordinary response. So the laws are draconian. They are complicated in the sense that they seek to build a network of rules connecting important institutions in the financial sector of the country and creating among those institutions a reporting obligation in relation to transactions done by those sectors or in that sector by those organizations. You see, money laundering has to do with the tracing of money.